We'll look at data types first. First up, we'll look at numbers. There are two types, int and double. We'll try some examples here and we'll print A and B as initialized. Let's observe the console and we have 2 and 3.6. Next up, we look at string. We'll try and initialize a string called dog name and Pomeranian, and we can see that in the console output. Next up is we'll look at the Boolean data type. We'll try two simple booleans, and is proper false, is cat is true, and we'll try and print is cat. We can see that that is true. Next up, we look at how to work with lists. Lists are similar to arrays in other languages. In Dart, they're called lists. First up, we look at fixed lists. So let us try initializing a simple fixed list. We'll fill it up. We'll fill it up with zeros and give it a length of 5. We'll try and print the fixed list. Dart allows us to directly print the fixed list, which is unlike other languages. Let us try another operation on the list. Let's try and change the index at 0 to be 5. Well, we can see that the first index is 5. We all know that indices start with 0, just for those of you who are new developers, something to keep in mind. Let us try and do a bulk replace of the values in the fixed lists. Let us call setAll, and starting from the second index, we will replace the fixed list with 56 and 57. So we will now have 5, 0, 5, 6, 5, 7 and 0. Now you can see note that you cannot add or change any values in fixed lists because you have specified the length. And so if you try and change the fixed length, then you're gonna get the Borat face. So you're gonna get an error and there'll be an exception that will be thrown by the program. Let us try and just run it for the sake of testing and working, hands-on. We have an unsupported error exception. Well, there you see, there is an explosion. Your code just doesn't work at this point because you're trying to do an operation that is not supported by the Dart language. Next up, we will look at other operations, but before that I just want to show you that if we ever even try to add to a fixed list, we're gonna get an error. Okay, great. Keeping that in mind, let us go to the growable lists, which is the second type of lists in Dart. So let's try and initialize a growable list and call it fruits. For now, just let's go with a simple list with apples and bananas. Now let us try and maybe add an extra fruit like kiwi to the list of fruits. Let's try and print fruits at this point and run. And what we see is that our new list now has apples, bananas, and kiwi. Great. So we'll comment everything else just to have a clear console output. Let's now try doing bulk inserts in the growable list. Here's how you can do that. Fruits.add_all, and our list expects a parameter expects a list, so we are passing in pineapple and oranges in curly braces, and we try to print that, and we can see in our console output that we have apples, bananas, kiwis, pineapples, and oranges. So fruits list is just updated and we're able to bulk add those values. Great. We'll try and do additional operations. Let's try and use the remove method in lists in order to get rid of an item from the fruits list. Here we're trying to get rid of the apples from our list. When we try and print the fruits list, here we try to remove a random value. We literally called it random. Dart handles that scenario and it ends up just ignoring that because it doesn't exist in the list, instead of throwing an exception or anything else. So it's simply ignored by Dart. Up next, we're just trying to call the index of on the fruits list in order to identify what the index of pineapples is. Note that you can also insert at different positions in the list. For example, we want to insert apples at the second index. So we will try and run that. Next up, we'll try and see how fruits.sort works. Sort will simply arrange the strings in an alphabetical order, and you can see that in the console output. You can also call a .sort and pass in a callback function, which is going to take two parameters, and you can do certain operations, and based on the operations you can sort the fruits array however you want. You could also call the shuffle, which is an interesting one. It's almost like shuffling a deck of cards. You could check out the other operations. You could pause this video and also try doing this exercise. Leave a comment if you actually got the answer. Feel free to share this video for those new Dart learners. Hopefully this helps. Thanks.